England who had been sending her thousands of dollars.
What the hell?
I know.
So I must really be digging the Rob Zombie songs on her damn MySpace page.
Well, during the investigation, Elisa also fails a polygraph exam when she's asked if she knew Zahra's location and questions about whether or not the little girl was alive. Which we all know, those polygraph tests,
Well, I call them junk science, but used in concert with other, techniques, and when you're really trying to figure things out, it can be useful to investigators. I would never take one, ever.
Well, at this point, Elisa and Adam are prime suspects.
Yeah.
In Zahra's disappearance. Police find forensic evidence inside the Bakers' Chevy Tahoe, including blood and some hair samples. Some pieces of hair, almost like as if it was pulled out or something.
So maybe it's got the roots on it and stuff.
Drug paraphernalia was also taken from the home and the vehicles. At some point, police searched the company where Adam is employed with canines. They use backhoes, excavators to dig around the property as well. It's a lumber company, as I mentioned, like a logging company.
Yeah.
They're out there with the dogs. They're digging holes. They're combing the area.
It sounds like a recovery effort.
They think something's up for sure. During this time, people start talking to police. A former neighbor said that at some point in 2010, Elisa had an injury to her hand. When she was asked about it, Elisa admitted she had been hitting Zahra and hurt her hand on the child's prosthetic leg.
God, you bitch.
When Adam asked about it, Elisa told him she'd fallen on it. Others speculated Elisa had something to do with the girl's disappearance. People were starting to come out of the woodwork, and they were like, we know she did something to this kid.
Yeah, they've been seeing her treat this little girl like shit and be mean to her all this time.
Her own children are suspicious.
Yeah.
Are testifying.
They grew up with this monster.
Their mother's violent and abusive behavior.
Oh.
She's getting money from men online. She could potentially leave.
It always
this
quickly falls apart.
Definitely not a good situation. On Thursday, October 10th, police had received a tip that Zahra had been possibly raped. Now, the tip was that Zahra had been at a house recently belonging to a pair of cousins. Allegedly, the tipster said that one of the men, there were two of them, Louis James Young and Timothy Samuel Young. Sammy Young, I guess he went by Sammy. Sammy was having some kind of sexual relationship with Elisa, and they were using drugs together.
Okay.
Elisa had gone over to the Young's house and left Zahra with these men, and when she had returned, the girl had blood stains.
What the fuck?
Kind of like between her legs.
Jesus Christ.
The men also had recently removed a mattress from their home, which had a dark stain on it. When cops go to interview these men, one of the guys claims it was due to a urine stain, that he had gotten drunk and just taken a piss all over his mattress.
Yeah.
Louis Young told investigators that he knew who Zahra Baker was, but he didn't believe she had ever been to their residence. These men were investigated, but law enforcement didn't believe this was any kind of valid claim. They thought it possibly came from Elisa's ex-husband, who also knew these fellas.
Okay.
And were cousins as well with...
Like trying to get back at him for some reason?
Well, that he knew about Elisa's relationship with his cousin, but that he also might have been doing that to try to help her.
Oh.
Like, these guys raped Zahra and they're the ones who killed her. To try to maybe give Elisa a bit of like an alibi or some background to maybe make her look like she's not the guilty one.
Well, let's pray that's true. And it's just some fucked up lie.
Because they didn't really find any kind of validation, in their investigation. So they think it was probably just some
kind of bullshit.
Yeah, they didn't really feel like it was valid.
God, who can even say that?
Elisa finally started giving up bits of information to the police. And she's realizing the game is up. They're holding her on these, I'm not going to say bogus charges, because they're
real charges.
They're petty crimes.
But they're definitely using those to keep control of her.
And she knows that, they're going to slam her with whatever they can.
Right.
She claims Adam Baker had dismembered his daughter alone after she died.
Okay.
Trying to claim it was an accident. giving a lot of different stories here.
Well, here's the thing on Adam's part. I work crazy long hours too, but to not lay eyes on your child for a couple, 3 days, in my mind is insane. Because even I work, swing shift, weird hours. My daughter's 13. I still, or if Zane's here, your son's here, I open the door, I lay eyes on them.
Right.
I don't bother them when they're sleeping, but I just look in on them. It's just, I think it's part of being a parent. I wouldn't go for days without seeing my children. So that's weird to me.
It is very odd.
I don't care how tired and all that shit. It just takes a second to look in on them.
Well, no, I agree.
Let alone if she was disabled.
I guess everyone parents differently, but we're a bit more hands-on.
Well, let alone if she's a poor little disabled thing.
We're very proactive in our parenting. So, I can't imagine you going for days and days and not at least going in there and aggravating your daughter, calling her a knucklehead.
Yeah. Or just looking in on them when they're sleeping peacefully.
Exactly.
Because that's the best time because they're not running their mouth.
They don't want to argue back. Yeah.
But that's always been weird to me that he hadn't seen her for more than one day. So anyway.
Alyssa's saying Adam dismembered the little girl after she died and that together the couple hid Zahra's remains.
So why would you dismember if she just passed away?
She told police Zahra had been dead since September 24th. Now, at some point, Alyssa's lawyer hands over some evidence relating to Zahra's death, saying her prosthetic leg was in a dumpster near an apartment building. But the actual leg they find that has the matching serial number is found off a road in Caldwell County, a few miles from where Alyssa had a former residence.
Imagine that.
By November 2010, Alyssa starts telling police about different areas where they might find the girl's remains. Police did recover numerous bones belonging to the girl, but they did not find her head. It would be some years later before they actually recover her skull.
My God.
Alyssa told police some of the girl's body parts were in the drain trap of the bathtub, and that the plastic gloves she used were in the bedroom of the home. The girl's mattress had also been thrown in a dumpster, which police did recover from the landfill.
Oh, wow. Damn, they're not playing around.
Since the coroner could not rule the exact cause of death, it was listed as an undetermined violent homicide. Investigators believe Alyssa killed and dismembered Zahra on September 24th, 2010, and disposed of her body the next day. She is indicted on second-degree murder charges February 22nd, 2011. She made a deal to skip that first-degree murder charge and possibly the death penalty by agreeing to disclose the information about Zahra's remains. Now, Adam Baker denies any involvement in the murder of his daughter. Most of his alibi and his cell phone records check out for his whereabouts around the time and date that they suspect Zahra was killed.
Right.
However, they did check her records, Alyssa's, and they did find that they pinged at certain places where they recovered body parts.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he did it or did anything, but he is still responsible for letting this fucking monstrous woman around his child. I'm sorry. I don't care how much she manipulated him, and I feel terrible for him. Poor little Zahra. I mean, my God.
Imagine her poor mother in Australia.
But
her biological mother.
He's the reason she was subjected to this beast of a woman.
Well, there definitely is some personal accountability that should come into play.
This is one so sad little story. I feel so bad for her.
In April of 2011, Adam Baker is charged with identity fraud for using his daughter-in-law's husband's identity in order to get utilities such as electricity.
Oh, okay.
He was also charged with passing worthless checks and some sort of assault with a deadly weapon charge.
Oh, so maybe he's not the meek little guy we thought.
During this time, he is ordered not to leave North Carolina without notifying the district attorney's office. But eventually, he is going to be allowed to return to Australia. I guess they were just trying to stick some sort of charge, because I believe investigators thought there might not be some evidence connecting him to this, but like you, they felt like he had some responsibility or some involvement.
Even after the fact, right. Helping her in some way after poor little Zahra is passed away or whatever. I'd say more than likely. Did they ever lay out exactly what they thought happened?
No.
Because I'm going to guess.
Alyssa never really gave a full account or true story, considering the fact that she spins so many tales and lies.
It wouldn't even matter.
They didn't really, they were trying to piece together what could have happened, but there was no real specific incident or reason why she decided to kill this little girl.
I think possibly she abused her on the daily, it sounds like. I think the abuse, she did something that killed her. And it went further maybe than she meant to. That doesn't mean anything. You've been abusing this poor little girl. But I think
much like the Lena Lunsford case that we covered with the daughter Aaliyah.
Yes.
And how she basically died from her mother's child abuse. And then her mother covered it up.
I think that's what happened in this case.
I believe that it's probably something similar
It's either
to
that or she was finally just totally fed up dealing with Zahra and her issues. And just, it sounds like just being a child around this woman was enough to piss her off. And then she decided to just get rid of her. It's one of the two. But likely, I think in my mind, it was her abuse. She went too far one evening, day, or whatever, and she realized she'd killed her.
Alyssa was also charged similarly with using her daughter's information to obtain utility services. In May of 2011, she was indicted on drug charges for possessing oxycodone, hydrocodone, and alprazolam, which she was planning to sell. I read somewhere she had something like 25,000 Xanax pills.
How the fuck?
On her person. I don't know how, but was planning to sell those.
That's a lot of pills.
Yeah. She pled guilty to federal drug charges. She was sentenced to 14 to 18 years for the girl's murder, the murder of Zahra Baker. Prosecutors knew it was going to be a controversial sentence, but they knew it was necessary to make this plea deal so that they could find the little girl's body.
I understand why they do it, but that just pisses me off.
The one positive that did come from this is Zahra's law was enacted after this crime, which now makes it a felony to dismember a corpse and gives you an extra 8 years sentence.
What the fuck? That was a misdemeanor before?
Before, there wasn't really a law in the books about that.
Damn.
Elisa Baker's projected release date from state prison is July 2nd, 2025. But once the murder sentence ends, she's going to begin a 10-year sentence in federal prison for those drug charges.
Oh, she only got 10 years for that.
Baker is currently held at the Anson Correctional Institute, an all-female prison in Polkton, North Carolina.
I'm surprised somebody hadn't put their damn hands on her and fucking finished her off.
Well, I'm going to guess her prison life is probably not very cozy.
Because everybody knows who she is. It was a huge case. It was the sweetest little girl ever. And I'm hoping that she doesn't have a comfortable prison life. And I'm hoping that she has had her ass kicked. And she's been threatened on the daily.
Well, let's right now just pause for a moment and send out all the bad vibes to Elisa Baker.
I got my eyes closed. Elisa Baker.
Bad vibes.
Elisa Baker, you're a piece of fucking shit. And I hope your life sucks daily. You fucking monster.
Well, and she's ugly, so there's that.
Is she ugly?
She's fucking ugly.
You fugly, monstrous bitch.
She's fucking skanky as fuck.
Oh my God, she sounds like a damn skank.
I'll post her skanky ass picture and you can judge her with us.
Even other skanks will be like, girl, get on somewhere.
That's something a ratchet hoe would do.
That's something a ratchet hoe would say.
Exactly. Don't forget we have our live show coming up January the 18th at Fleetwood's in Asheville, North Carolina. If you want to join us for that, tickets are available. We have a Facebook event and we have a link to purchase tickets posted in the Facebook event. You can also go to brownpapertickets.com and keyword search Mountain Murders. You can find the ticket link there. We'll sell tickets at the door as well.
If there's any left, y'all.
I know. You got to get those. They're going fast. And if you can't get enough of Mountain Murders, you can always sign up for Patreon.
Patreon.
As low as $1 a month, you can support the podcast and get some extra bonus content.
Yes, and we have a lot of interesting ideas in the work that we're going to start on after the first year to bring some really fun, interesting content to Patreon.
Yeah, maybe start posting more video episodes over